Grimdark.
Half off!
Warning, I am incapable of pronouncing any of the European names pronounced here correctly. Whether you treat the Age of Calamitous mod for Conan Exiles as the author's intent, which is a total conversion, an Elric of Melniboné style crossover like me, or just see it as a way to add more high fantasy elements into your game like many Dungeons & Dragons themed servers out there, it is so much more than just a mod. Age of Calamitous is our first look as an audience into the original fantasy universe by creator and mod author Espen Johansson. The year is 1724 by their calendar, and the race is on to prevent a great calamity from coming to the world. Relevant and important links for AOC are listed below. While I do eventually deeply want to dive into the lore surrounding the universe coming to a Conan Exiles server near you, for now I thought I would give you a brief overview of the features this mod brings, while also going into a slight overview of the lore. Upon loading the mod, you'll be greeted by a fabulous main menu and loading screen art by Melania Pepagabé, Emilia Paul and John Paul Van Eden, all of whom's ArtStation pages are linked below. Loading into the game, it can be hard to notice any real difference. That's because your starting position hasn't changed, nor has the start of the area of the Exiled Lands map where the mod mostly takes place if you're using it without a extra server who's repurposing the assets to be used later. To really start the mod, you're going to have to make your way northwest to the faction hall in square D4 of the map. Previous players will know this as the Dregs. For people bored by the usual setting of the game and just want a high fantasy revamp of the map they're used to, the trek can be the biggest flaw. This is obvious for the mechanics of the game, but just be warned if you're new or haven't played in a while, that if you make a beeline for the Dregs without collecting food or water along the way, you will begin to starve by the time you get there, and will not be in an area where a beginner level character can find viable food. If you're in single player, I recommend going admin mode by going to settings, selecting Make Me Admin in server settings, then control right clicking on the map square close to the faction hall. Then restart and re-log in to unmake yourself admin. The other option, of course, is to play the game normally until you feel you can make the trek with a higher level character or just stock up on food first. Once you finally enter the faction hall, located through a portal inside the Dregs building, you will be met with an epic original soundtrack score by Ilya Ryakovsky. Upon any observations, you will notice 6 paths to different open room areas as you cross the main room or ground floor of the hall. These are your faction choices. Once chosen, you cannot pick a second faction, so choose wisely. To select your faction, make your way to the ghostly figure in your desired faction's open room area and hit E. You should get a small pop-up accompanied by a token in your inventory. Once you consume the token, it will be replaced with the faction's starting gear and the ability to enter the faction HQ portal located in the same open room area. It is highly recommended that you enter the faction HQ, as in this one room area, you will be able to unlock things such as new cosmetic options or recipes by simply talking to NPCs in this small, highly stylized zone. As an example, by joining the druid-themed Order of Felgarth, I was very quickly able to pick up a recipe for firing blasts out of the starting staff by making ammo from simple common plant fibers, just by talking to the first NPC I encountered. Your faction choices are the Night-themed Kingdom of Stormhold, the Ice Assassin-themed Cold Embrace, the Dragon-themed but misleadingly human-populated secret society of mages known as the Order of Elvenor, the obviously elf-populated Elven Covenant, the nature-themed Order of Felgarth, and the Orc/Ogre-themed Vangul clans. To use any new cosmetics you unlock, the second station to your left in the main ground floor of the faction hall is a station that allows you to change your appearance. Using this, you can play as an orcish corrupted Vangul, take on the ears of an elf, or other things depending on your faction choice. The Cold Embrace, for reference, have very cool glowing eyes, and the Kingdom of Stormhold have extra hair options, I believe. Each faction also comes with seemingly 4 different tiers of build pieces, of course themed to the faction in question. A brief thing I want to include that isn't in the script, and that is that these are all, of course, high fantasy themed. So if you're looking for something that goes with that historical fiction feel that Conan has, just understand it will be a bit more in your face and a bit more, let's say, saturated. Eventually, you will also be able to take on a sub-faction through a faction-dependent quest. These sub-factions come with vastly different aesthetic gear, banners, and most interestingly to me, their own pets. If you would like to let's play of the Cold Embrace Assassin Mafia-themed faction, or Order of Felgarth Druid-themed faction, the husband and wife editorial team, Lee and Lainey Wilkes of the AOC lore site, have playlists for just that on their channel, Yorkshire Puds Gaming, linked below. Moving away from factions, there are also profession or job guilds, which you have one choice of 5 of, which also come with their own pets and bonuses. Hunters, farmers, miners, forestry, and moonshiners. Moonshiners sounds like my favorite and the most interesting. I like the idea of illegally brewing alcohol in the Age of Calamitous world. That would be very fun. These are located at the middle right station on the ground level of the main faction hall. That's all for this incredibly short introduction to the mod, as I wanted to keep things to a very small minimum and to things that won't be changed in future updates. My best guess is that everything here will remain true into the future, but the mod does update frequently and information is quick to go out of date. That being said, I think we stayed pretty safe. In addition to that, if you're new to the channel, I will always focus more on lore, art, and storytelling than I will on any game or mod's mechanics. If you are interested in going deeper into a sort of stronger analysis of the Age of Calamitous lore, let me know below by commenting your thoughts.